night in Richland County, where a murder trial ends before it ever begins. 31-year-old Taylor Wardlaw pled guilty to killing her boyfriend, 26-year-old Terrell Sims, in December of 2021.
A family's worst fear realized. A loved one simply gone, vanished without a note, leaving only silence. Panic grips them. A desperate search begins, with flyers appearing and social media pleas for help flooding feeds. Every eye scans, every ear strains for a sign, and at the heart of this agonizing search, usually, is the one closest. The partner you expect to be leading the charge, broken-hearted and relentless, but what if the very person you'd never suspect holds the key, not to their loved one's safe return, but to their tragic absence? Have you ever felt a cold uneasiness when someone's public actions felt entirely at odds with what you sensed privately, a deep, fundamental wrongness lingering just beneath a seemingly calm surface? This isn't merely a tale of a vanished man. It's about a bond where affection soured into control, culminating in a killing and a cold attempt to hide the truth. This is the case of Terrell Sims, a father of 5, a resilient man cherished by his sisters like Rose and Marcella. When Terrell abruptly ceased all contact in December 2021, especially during the holidays, his family instantly recognized this as profoundly abnormal. His silence rang out like a loud alarm when his partner, Taylor Wardlaw, then stepped forward, actively guiding the public effort to locate him. An unsettling question began to form for those observing closely. The central question became undeniable, as Taylor Wardlaw devoted herself to organizing searches and posting on social media, pleading for the safe return of the man she shared her life with. Was she truly seeking answers? Or was the image she presented to the world a meticulously built illusion? What kind of individual could gaze directly into the public eye, express such deep sorrow, and plead for help finding their missing partner, all while holding the terrible knowledge of his true location and why he had fallen silent permanently? Stay with us. The performance Taylor Wardlaw delivered marked just the start of a story poised to expose a calculated act of deceit and the dark reality concealed within a fractured relationship. To uncover the full, unsettling account behind Terrell Sims' disappearance and the woman at the core of the search, subscribe to True Crime Footprint and hit the like button. Your support helps us share these crucial stories. Welcome to True Crime Footprint, where we unveil the darkest mysteries and the most chilling true crime tales. If you crave real-life crime stories that will keep you on the edge of your seat, you are in the right place. Kindly subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell, so you never miss any of our new stories. Your support keeps these stories alive. Terrell Devon Sims, Sr., born in July 1995, was by all accounts a man with deep roots, part of a large family in Richland County, South Carolina, with 4 sisters and 3 brothers. They knew him as resilient, someone who consistently aimed to bring happiness to those around him. Terrell was also a devoted father to 5 children, Riley, Jemiah, Terrell Jr., Chauncey, and a 1-year-old he shared with Taylor Wardlaw. His connection to his family ran strong. He was consistent in his communication, which is precisely why, when his calls ceased, especially as the holidays approached in December 2021, his sisters, like Rose and Marcella Sims, immediately understood something was profoundly amiss. His silence was a stark departure from his usual pattern. Then we consider Taylor Wardlaw, 29 years old when Terrell vanished. Like Terrell, she was a parent, as documents in this case mention her as a mother to multiple children. Records do indicate prior concerns regarding the welfare of her young children, suggesting personal complications that existed before the tragic events of this narrative unfolded. Taylor and Terrell's paths crossed in 2018, their relationship quickly moving forward, soon leading to them living together, yet their shared life was far from settled. Friends and family observing them reported a constant unsteadiness, marked by significant disagreements and conflict. This was not a peaceful partnership at all. Instead, those who knew them often described it as turbulent. This relationship did not suddenly hit a rough patch. Instability appeared inherent to its very core from its early days. Ultimately, that instability reached a critical point. Terrell decided he wanted to end the relationship, desiring to leave Taylor. His sister, Rose Sims, recounts his clear intention to move on, but according to Rose, Taylor Wardlaw was unwilling to accept this decision. The desire for personal freedom on one side met with a powerful refusal on the other. This disagreement, this fundamental difference in their aspirations for the relationship's future, appears to mark where the path towards tragedy began its sharp turn. Terrell Sims sought to walk away, to find peace outside a troubled bond. Taylor Wardlaw, it seemed, was determined to prevent his departure, whatever the ultimate price. How far would one person truly go to prevent the other from leaving? Following that day, his regular communication abruptly ceased. His family's attempts to reach him went unanswered, a silence heavy with worry. Just 2 days later, on December 22, Taylor Wardlaw took action, contacting the police in Columbia, South Carolina, to report Terrell missing. Her account was straightforward. He had simply left their shared residence and not returned, yet Taylor Wardlaw did not stop at filing a missing person report. Instead, she immediately began a very public effort to find Terrell. She took to social media, posting pictures, sharing pleas for information, and amplifying her calls for help. She organized search parties, rallying people to look for him, actively placing herself at the center of the search. She presented herself as a desperate, concerned partner consumed by worry for her missing boyfriend, a display aimed squarely at both the public and law enforcement. This public persona, this image of anguish and urgent searching, stood in stark opposition to the reality later revealed. While Taylor Wardlaw directed search efforts and pleaded for Terrell's safe return, a deeply unsettling question lingered for anyone who might have felt a flicker of doubt. Was this genuine distress, or was it a carefully constructed performance? Every public post and every call to action she made added layers to a public image that, in hindsight, hid something terrible. The contrast was striking. Here was a partner, seemingly doing everything possible to find a missing loved one, mobilizing community support, directing attention to the disappearance, yet, as we now know, and as some may have instinctively felt even then, the truth of Terrell Sims' whereabouts, and why he was gone, was allegedly known to the very person leading the search. It forces us back to that core question. What kind of individual can maintain such a convincing public display, express such deep sorrow, and beg for help finding their missing partner, all while holding the terrible knowledge of his true location and why he had fallen silent permanently? As Taylor Wardlaw held the public spotlight with her desperate search, the true story of Terrell Sims' final moments remained concealed, but secrets kept in the dark rarely stay hidden forever, and someone close to Taylor was about to step into the light, carrying a truth that would shatter Taylor Wardlaw's carefully built facade. Even as Taylor Wardlaw continued her public campaign to find Terrell, investigators were not solely relying on her account. They pursued their own inquiries, a standard practice in missing person cases, looking beyond her public presentation, gathering information, speaking with those who knew both Terrell and Taylor. It was during this phase, as they quietly conducted their work, that they received a communication destined to fundamentally alter the entire course of events. A crucial breakthrough then emerged from someone close to Taylor Wardlaw. This individual stepped forward, offering not merely a tip about Terrell's whereabouts, but a confession regarding what had genuinely transpired, a moment that pulled back the curtain on the careful performance Taylor Wardlaw had been giving the world. The allegations presented were stark, profoundly disturbing. The friend claimed Taylor Wardlaw had not only killed Terrell Sims, but had also enlisted assistance to hide the crime. Specifically, the friend asserted Wardlaw's new boyfriend had helped her dispose of Terrell's body. This testimony shattered the entire narrative Taylor Wardlaw had constructed around a simple disappearance and a desperate search. It pointed directly to murder and a deliberate attempt at concealment. Armed with this horrifying, credible information, the investigation shifted immediately, dramatically. The search was no longer for a missing person, but for a victim of homicide and the evidence of that crime. Law enforcement now had a clear direction, a specific lead to follow, all stemming from the friend's courage in coming forward. With this powerful confession pointing the way, law enforcement now faced a grim task: locating Terrell Sims, and they possessed a lead that would guide them to a secluded spot in Richland County. Following the critical information provided by Taylor Wardlaw's friend, the investigation's focus narrowed dramatically. Law enforcement directed their search efforts to a specific area near a creek off Monticello Road in Richland County. The search was now guided not by vague hope, but by a grim lead suggesting a deliberate act had occurred. In the days after the friend's statement, this focused search yielded a discovery. Official police records confirm that on January 5, 2022, with assistance from multiple agencies including the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division, SLED, the body of Terrell Sims was located, found concealed. It clearly indicated an attempt to hide it from discovery, and this finding in a secluded spot spoke volumes about the circumstances surrounding his disappearance. With the body recovered, the next vital step involved transporting Terrell Sims to the Richland County Coroner's Office. There, Coroner Nida Rutherford would conduct a thorough autopsy, a critical medical examination essential not only for formal identification but, more importantly, to determine precisely how Terrell Sims had died. The autopsy results delivered the definitive, tragic answer. Coroner Rutherford confirmed Terrell Sims' death was not natural, nor had he simply walked away. He had died from multiple gunshot wounds. This finding provided undeniable proof that Terrell Sims was indeed a victim of homicide. The discovery of Terrell Sims' body in a hidden location, coupled with the autopsy findings confirming a violent death by gunfire, served as powerful physical evidence. It directly supported the allegations made by Taylor Wardlaw's friend, completely dismantling Taylor Wardlaw's initial story of Terrell merely leaving their home. The truth of what happened was now established, undeniable and tragic. The missing person case had tragically transformed into a murder investigation, with compelling evidence of Terrell's violent death and a key witness implicating Taylor Wardlaw. The next step was clear: accountability must follow. With undeniable evidence from the crime scene, the medical examination confirming Terrell Sims' violent death, and the critical testimony from Wardlaw's friend, law enforcement moved swiftly. Their focus shifted entirely from investigation to apprehension. Physical evidence and witness accounts combined to build a compelling case against those alleged to be responsible. Just one day after Terrell Sims' body was officially located and identified, authorities made their move. On Thursday, January 6, 2022, Taylor Wardlaw was arrested. Based on the gathered evidence, she faced formal charges of murder and possession of a firearm during a violent crime. The swiftness of this arrest following the discovery underscores the compelling nature of the case against her at that point. The ongoing investigation also brought another individual into custody, Eddie Brown, 30 years old. He had been identified as Taylor Wardlaw's new boyfriend, the same person the friend claimed had helped her dispose of Terrell Sims' body. His alleged involvement pointed to a calculated effort to conceal the crime after it occurred.
The family of Terrell Sims is speaking to News 19 today, sharing their thoughts about his death. This comes one day after his girlfriend, 29-year-old Taylor Wardlaw, was arrested and charged with murder. News 19's Becky Buds is live outside of the Columbia Police Department, and she has more on this case. Good evening, Becky.
Darcy, it's something the Sims family never saw coming. Their brother's girlfriend being arrested for his death. But the Sims family tells me the arrest brings them closure.
I mean, I'm hurting, but I feel at peace.
Peace is all that Marcella Jones has left to hold on to after her twin brother, Terrell Sims, was found dead on Wednesday. On Thursday, Columbia Police Department arrested 29-year-old Taylor Wardlaw for the murder of Sims. Police say Sims was shot several times. Wardlaw, who was his girlfriend, reported Sims missing on December 22nd.
But it's just a hard thing. It's just hurtful the way things happen. It just hurts the way it happened. You know what I'm saying?
According to his sisters, the couple was together for several years and have a 1-year-old child. Sims leaves behind 3 other children as well. Instead of thinking about how he died, Sims' sisters say they're choosing to remember how he lived.
We have so many good memories. And I know my brother was a tough person. He wouldn't want us crying. He wouldn't want that.
Eddie Brown was arrested later in January 2022, charged with accessory after the fact of murder in connection with Terrell Sims' death. This charge meant he was not accused of the killing itself, but of providing assistance to Wardlaw after the murder, specifically by allegedly helping her hide Terrell's body, a significant step in attempting to cover up the truth of what transpired. The arrests of both Taylor Wardlaw and Eddie Brown highlighted that the actions taken after Terrell's death involved more than just the primary offense. It revealed a deliberate effort to remove evidence and mislead investigators, a level of calculation in trying to escape responsibility for the crime, with both individuals allegedly involved in Terrell Sims' death and the cover-up now in custody. The case transitioned from the streets of Columbia to the formal legal process. As the court proceedings began, however, a new question arose. Would the outcome truly deliver justice for Terrell Sims and provide a measure of peace for his grieving family? Following the arrests and initial legal steps, the case against Taylor Wardlaw steadily proceeded through the court system, the serious charges against her, pointing to a premeditated act and the use of a firearm, meant the weight of evidence gathered by investigators loomed large as the legal process moved forward. Years passed between the crime and the resolution in court. The culmination arrived on March 25, 2024. On the very day her trial was set to begin, Taylor Wardlaw made an unexpected decision. She entered a guilty plea to the charges of first-degree murder and possession of a firearm during a violent crime.
31-year-old Taylor Wardlaw pled guilty to killing her boyfriend, 26-year-old Terrell Sims, in December of 2021.
News 19's Cassidy Byer was in court today. She's joining us now with the details.
I felt she should have got more.
On what was supposed to be the first day of trial, 31-year-old Taylor Wardlaw changed her mind, and after being led into the courtroom in shackles, she pleaded guilty to killing her boyfriend, 26-year-old Terrell Sims. Rose Sims is his sister.
I wish she would have got life, to tell you the truth, about what she did.
The judge sentenced Wardlaw to 20 years in prison, but in Rose's eyes, it's not enough for what her family has been put through, or that Terrell's kids will grow up without a father.
They still be asking where their daddy is, and it's kind of hard to sit down and explain to them, your daddy's gone. You could tell them that all you want, but for a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old, they're not going to understand.
On December 22nd of 2021, Wardlaw reported her boyfriend missing to the police. His body was found in a bag near a creek off of Monticello Road.
After her guilty plea, the court handed down her sentence. Taylor Wardlaw received 20 years in prison, with credit for the time she had already served since her arrest, amounting to over 2 years. The legal judgment had finally been rendered. The sentence, however, landed heavily on Terrell Sims' family. His sister, Rose Sims, voiced deep disappointment with the 20-year term. For Rose and the rest of Terrell's family, considering the magnitude of their loss and the void left in the lives of his 5 children, they felt 20 years was simply insufficient. They had hoped for a life sentence, yet, despite her profound grief and feeling that full justice wasn't served by the sentence length, Rose Sims also spoke about the possibility of finding forgiveness someday. Rose Sims further clarified her understanding of the motive behind this tragedy. She clearly stated her belief that the violence stemmed from Terrell's decision to leave Taylor Wardlaw, a decision Taylor was utterly unwilling to accept. This perspective from the family highlights the breaking point in their already troubled relationship. Taylor Wardlaw's guilty plea brought the legal case to a close, and the court process reached its conclusion. However, while the courtroom chapter ended, the story of loss and its impact on Terrell Sims' family continues. The legal outcome offers a measure of accountability, but it cannot restore a life or mend the hearts left broken. This case, though devastating, offers vital lessons. It highlights the potential dangers within relationships marked by deep instability and attempts at control. It serves as a stark reminder why recognizing concerning signs in personal dynamics, those often called red flags, is so important. Most tragically, it shows the enduring, devastating consequences of violence, particularly upon innocent children who are left to grow up without a parent. We must reflect on these lessons, hopefully helping others recognize and escape dangerous situations before it's too late. The case of Taylor Wardlaw and Terrell Sims stands as a somber example of deception and tragedy born from a volatile relationship. What are your thoughts on the sentence handed down? What signs of trouble do you think are most important to recognize in relationships? Share your perspective in the comments below. If you crave more stories like this, where ordinary lives are shattered by extraordinary events, kindly like and subscribe to this channel. Turn on the notification bell to be first to know when we drop our next video. More answers waiting to be discovered. Stay informed, stay vigilant, and above all, stay safe. See you on our next video.